Hey, what's going on everyone? JX Rico here, coming at you with the top 20 list of all time in my collection. So these are movies that I enjoy watching. It's nothing against like the greater movies that aren't in this top 20 list. It's just my preference and what I enjoy watching, and it's from like an entertaining standpoint as well. But first up, I like to show you my my list, or the movies that I had that didn't make the list. So I'm just gonna breeze through these because I have a whole lot of movies here that I want to just get out of the way and show you before I hit up my top 20. So first up, I have E.T., The Secret of My Success, 187, Apollo 13, Goldfinger, Shooter, The Place Beyond the Pines, Friday, The Color of Money, Music of the Heart, Something the Lord Made, Radio, Dragon the Bruce Lee Story, Field of Dreams, The Shawshank Redemption, Dangerous Minds, Juice, The Wood, Poetic Justice, Above the Rim, To Sir with Love, The Pursuit of Happiness, Jurassic Park 1, Forrest Gump, Coach Carter, The River Runs Through It, Remember the Titans, The Gridiron Gang, The Green Mile, and last but not least, For Love of the Game. So those are my movies that I wanted to include. I would say probably on my top 50 list, maybe. Those would be on my list of movies that I enjoy watching that are in my collection. But now let's get started with my top 20. Alright, so coming in at number 20, Finding Forrester, starring Sean Connery and Rob Brown. Just a phenomenal movie, an inspirational film, well scripted, well acted as well. Just a phenomenal cast as well. It has Anna Paquin in it as well. F. Murray Abraham, I'm not too sure who that is, but it's been a while since I watched this movie. But it's from the same director from that directed Good Will Hunting. So it's just one of the best pictures of the year, and it just has a lot of inspiration. You know, from coming from like I wouldn't say he's like a delinquent, but he comes from a rough neighborhood. Rob Brown, his character, and he's an inspired writer. So one day he kind of goes in like a prank with his friends to pretty much find out what this guy is all about, Sean Connery's character, and what he has in his apartment. So he obliges and does that, but he gets caught at the same time. And Rob Brown, his character, he feels so guilty that he goes back and apologizes, and they just start talking to each other, and you know, they just have a lot of things in common, and they develop a friendship. So it's just a phenomenal film, and an inspiring film to me as well. So definitely check this out, Finding Forrester. Coming in at number 19, a classic and a fair to remember, starring Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. I don't know if it's Carr or Kerr, but this is just a classic movie. I watched this a few days ago and just remembered how riveting and how touching it is as a romance movie, and one of the top movies. I would say this would be like my top 2 or 3 of all time romantic movies. Definitely recommend this one. This is duly noted in Sleepless in Seattle. If you haven't seen Sleepless in Seattle, check that one out. So just a very popular film, very classic film, and original film, starring Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. Coming in at number 18, Dead Poets Society, starring Robin Williams. I remember reading something online how Matt Damon and Ben Affleck both auditioned for roles in this film, and they both got shut down. But at the same time, they're working at a movie theater, and this movie was actually premiering at one of their theaters that they were working at, or the theater they were working at, and it just kind of gave them motivation. This movie itself gave them motivation to work hard and, you know, just show that the directors that they can act. So I think this movie also sets a message as well. Poetry is just another way to express your feelings. A lot of people like poetry for an easy way. A lot of people like singing about it, rapping about it, and stuff like that, but some people like putting it on paper. But generally, yeah, this movie is just heartwarming, and it's just a very emotional film, very inspiring film as well. So Robin Williams does a tremendous portrayal of his character in this film. So yeah, Dead Poets Society. Coming in at number 17, The Greatest Game Ever Played, starring Shia LaBeouf and Stephen Dillane. Just another awesome movie. Again, Shia LaBeouf is one of my favorite actors. I've been following him ever since Even Stevens, and I think he does a phenomenal job in this movie. Really takes it away in this movie, character-wise and just talent-wise as an actor. Just a beautiful written movie based on a true story. Golf movie. If you love sports movies, definitely recommend this one. If you like Remember the Titans, if you like Miracle, if you like any of those, like Glory Road, any of those type of films, this one definitely falls in between all of them. And you know, it's just the same type of story, same type of inspirational script. So yeah, The Greatest Game Ever Played. Coming in at number 16, I have The Goonies. Just another classic movie, childhood movie. Everyone remembers growing up with this movie. I recently took a trip to Astoria, Oregon, and I got to tour the house. So it was a very memorable experience, just to go through the house, go through different landmarks the movies were shot in as well. So definitely an adventure, The Goonies. Alright, so coming up at number 15, we have Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis in Top Gun. Just a classic 80s movie. If you don't know this movie, I don't know what's wrong with you. A classic score. Everyone's familiar with the song, Take My Breath Away. In all aspects, this film just touches every level. Just entertaining, thrilling. It's kind of comedic too at some point, but I don't know, it's just a classic 80s movie. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen this yet. So yeah, Top Gun. And this is probably one of Tom Cruise's best films in his career, in my opinion. So yeah. Coming in at number 14, I have Kurosawa's High and Low. Just another brilliant film. One of Kurosawa's best films, I should say. And also one of Mifune's best performances as well. Just well scripted, entertaining thriller from start to finish. It is subtitled black and white, made in the 60s, but you know, this is to me this is an iconic film of Kurosawa, and this should definitely not be missed. So yeah, High and Low, definitely recommend this movie. Coming in at number 13, we have Men of Honor, starring Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. Two phenomenal actors. Even though Cuba Gooding Jr. kind of fell off in his career, he's still pretty active in the movie industry with Red Tails and such. But Robert De Niro, just a legend. Two great actors at the time. The two great portrayals in this film as well. They do a wonderful job. Wonderful film. I think this one's based on a true story. Yeah, inspired by a true story. So definitely check this one out. I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, Men of Honor. Coming in at number 12, we have A Few Good Men. This one stars Demi Moore, Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Kevin Bacon's in this one. So there's a lot of great actors in this movie. It's just an entertaining thriller, courtroom drama. Tom Cruise, I would say, one of his best performances. Demi Moore as well. Jack Nicholson, he has that memorable line, "You can't handle the truth." So yeah, just definitely worthwhile. A 90s flick, one of the best. A Few Good Men. Coming in at number 11, we have The Legend of Bagger Vance, starring Will Smith, Matt Damon, and Charlize Theron. What can I say? I mean, this movie I can watch over and over again, even though it's a pretty long movie. It's only 2 hours and 7 minutes. But again, I would say this is Will Smith's best performance, aside from Pursuit of Happiness, of course. Definitely a golf movie. Matt Damon plays it very well. A very well portrayed character in this film as well. From an actor standpoint, plays very well, performance-wise. Just a memorable film, and I definitely recommend this one. Definitely Will Smith's one of Will Smith's best performances in his career. Legend of Bagger Vance. Coming in at number 10, we have A Time to Kill, starring Sandra Bullock, Matthew McConaughey, and Samuel L. Jackson. This also stars Kevin Spacey and Kiefer Sutherland and Donald Sutherland. Just an extraordinary cast, well scripted, like all these other films that I've mentioned before. Phenomenal performance by Matthew McConaughey and Samuel L. Jackson. Another courtroom drama. It also brings in racism, KKK, just that 1960s vibe of racism and just a lot of violence. But this one itself is just a memorable movie, and it's a must-own. Also, it's a must-watch. So yeah, it's A Time to Kill. Coming in at number 9, we have The Negotiator, starring Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson. This movie again puts these two together since A Time to Kill. One of Samuel L. Jackson's best performances, in my opinion. This is actually the movie that made me like Samuel L. Jackson as an actor. I mean, he just does a phenomenal job in this movie, performance-wise, and Kevin Spacey as well. Just a fun thriller. I can watch this one over and over again. I would say it's probably, my top 3 most watched films. But yeah, The Negotiator. Coming in at number 8, Frequency, starring Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. Well scripted. I love this movie. Probably my number 1 watched movie in my whole collection, I would say, because this movie just never gets old. I love the script. I love the fact that Jim Caviezel's character reconnects with his deceased father. You can change. It's kind of like a time warp where you can change the recurring events that happened in the past, or the events that happened in the past, and bring his father back to life. So yeah, this is just a phenomenal film. I definitely recommend it. Frequency. Alright, so coming in at number 7, we have The Hustler, starring Paul Newman and Jackie Gleason. Classic film, black and white film. My favorite Paul Newman film of all time. I just think that he just does a phenomenal job in this film. Jackie Gleason is a classic legend, as well as Paul Newman. Just two great legends. This also stars George C. Scott as well. So it's just a powerful cast. Great story. Just follows the up and comings of Paul Newman's character, Fast Eddie, and also Jackie Gleason, Minnesota Fats. Just phenomenal film. I definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it. The sequel is also Color of Money, which I showed previous in my first stack. So yeah, The The Hustler. Alright, so coming in at number 6, I have Indiana Jones: The Complete Adventures. The one movie I want to pinpoint, I know Raiders of the Lost Ark is a favorite to mostly everybody, but the one movie that I enjoyed watching the most was probably The Temple of Doom, just because I love Short Round. Just a very phenomenal. I mean, it's a memorable character. You know, nobody goes without knowing who Short Round is. You know, and I actually get a lot of like references that I'm Short Round and stuff like that at my work because I always wear a hat. But it was just a fun movie. Aside from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Temple of Doom brings it to another level. Brings them into India. You know, and he's collecting those stones, and it's just has a lot of memorable scenes in that movie. So yeah, I would say The Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. Alright, so coming in at number 5, we have Enter the Dragon, starring Bruce Lee. What can I say? I mean, a lot of martial arts films, they overuse the use of wire and computer, CG, and just a lot of unrealism that takes away from the movie. But a lot of people enjoy that action, that entertainment. But this one just kept it to real. And, all the choreography was done by Bruce Lee. Everything was original, no strings attached. But it's just an amazing movie, amazing film. This movie actually made him a legend, in the U.S. Even though he kind of set his stone in China and Hong Kong, and with all those other movies from Golden Harvest. But teaming up with Warner Brothers and Freddie Weintraub, I believe, he just brought it to another level and amazed a lot of people in the U.S. So yeah. Enter the Dragon, a staple in his career and also the last movie he ever made. Coming in at number 4, Back to the Future. It's a tough decision. I like part 2, but I also like part 1 just because they introduced the DeLorean. I'm gonna own a DeLorean one of these days. I know it in about 10 years. I've been saying that since I was little. That I'm gonna own a DeLorean. I will own a DeLorean. But Back to the Future Part 1 is probably my favorite one out of all. Just an original script, classic script as well, classic movie, most memorable movie of all time. Everyone who's seen Back to the Future has seen Back to the Future Part 1. Part 2 is also memorable with the hoverboard in 2015 Air Mags and flying DeLoreans and just a bunch of memorable scenes in this movie. So yeah, Back to the Future Part 1, childhood favorite. Coming in at number 3, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. This stars my number 1 favorite actor of all time, Sidney Poitier. Also stars Katharine Hepburn, the amazing Spencer Tracy. It also stars Catherine Houghton, I should say. I think she's the niece. I think she's the niece to Katharine Hepburn. Her right here. So yeah, I mean, this movie is the 1960s. It also contains one of the most memorable scenes in movie cinema, with Spencer Tracy just giving a lecture to Sidney Poitier and the advantages and disadvantages of his marriage with Catherine Houghton's character. Is just dealt with racism, and it's between, it's in the time between racism, during the era of racism, 1960s. So Sidney Poitier just does a phenomenal job, as well as Spencer Tracy. 2 best performances in my opinion. But yeah, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, highly recommended. Coming in at number 2 is Rudy. I actually don't have the movie right now. I lended it to a friend because I highly recommended it to him. We were talking about it the other day, and I was just like, dude, you gotta watch Rudy, man. It's probably the best inspirational film I've ever watched. If I'm ever feeling down about something, I always pop that movie in and it just brightens me up again. It's one of those movies that just impacts you, emotionally and mentally as well. So Rudy, starring Sean Astin, It has other characters as well, or other actors as well, that I can't remember off the top of my head, but just I don't know. I don't know any other movie that has made an impact on me inspirational wise. And I've never watched another movie that was well scripted to that point where it impacted me. So yeah, I highly recommend Rudy. So go check that movie out. And coming in at number 1, this was a tough decision, but also an easy one. I like scripts with revenge, that deals with revenge, plots and stuff like that. Characters that get dishonored and then they come back and they prove the other people wrong, and they get the revenge on the people that abandoned them and stuff like that. But this movie is The Count of Monte Cristo. I need to upgrade this one to Blu-ray as well as some other titles in here. But The Count of Monte Cristo is just my favorite movie of all time. I just like the coming up character of Jim Caviezel's I think it's the Count Montes. I think that's what they call it. They call his character name in this movie. But yeah, I mean, Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, a phenomenal film. Something I can watch over and over again. I just like the script and the part where he throws a party. Jim Caviezel's character throws the party, and Guy Pearce's character, who was his best friend in the beginning that betrayed him, doesn't know who this guy is, and he marries his best friend marries his wife, his wife, because she thinks that he's dead and stuff like that in the story. But yeah, it's just it hits so many points, emotionally too as well. It just makes you want to watch the movie, continue watching it, and it's just a phenomenal script, a phenomenal story. So yeah, The Count of Monte Cristo. So yeah, everybody, that's my top 20 list. Shout outs to the Visual Maniacs for holding this contest. I'll leave their link in the description box below. Go sub. And I believe that once they hit 500 subs, they're going to end this video contest entry. So please go and make your video responses now before it's too late. I believe they're giving away a $50 gift. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please comment, subscribe. JX Rico signing out.